दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे दुर्लभ दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तरो हे भव सिंधु ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरवस्ये नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं तमोदं हयते गिरिं यत्कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतां परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। You offer prayers also. अरे मैं बोलूँगा कि आप बोलेंगे? हाँ? Welcome everyone for another festival of Prji circle. Matais are always happy when festival is there. Why? No cooking. Kitchens are closed. Nice. One of the Prabhuji was telling me that right from the time we have joined Rajbhumi Circle, ISKCON Whitefield, in our kitchens we have got a lot of cobwebs. Cookings are not happening properly. It's very, very auspicious. On the day of Ekadashi, devotees coming together like this and doing kirtan, very, very auspicious. Very few people get this opportunity. I feel very fortunate always to come in the association of devotees like this. Either sit and hear katha or speak katha so that others can relish. And as all of you know, we are nearing Gaur Purnima festival. The energy is building with time. It's so wonderful, and I hope the devotees are practicing for quite some time. You have started preparing your consciousness for the festival. So we have to hear about the Lord. We have to hear about Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We have to meditate on the qualities of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. For the ones who don't know who is Gauranga, Krishna himself in the age of Kali, that is Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So it is the meditation of the devotee which actually gets converted into a festival. If there is no meditation, it will be just like another ritual. Okay, same Mahabhishek, and the devotee will tell us, now I know which color will come after this liquid. Green color liquid is poured, okay, now red color liquid, now orange. So it will become very mechanical. Milk, curd, ghee, honey, whatever, it will all be mechanical. Unless and until we devotees don't meditate on the Lord's qualities and pastimes, chant His holy names, with utter faith and devotion, we cannot actually celebrate a festival. So it's very important to prepare the consciousness. So anyway, Sunday, day after tomorrow, I've been asked to give a class, so I'll be speaking on this, preparing consciousness for Gaur Purnima. So today also we'll cover some part of it. Today's bhajan is very, very nice. So I was thinking what to speak on. So I thought let me take up some bhajan and start meditating on that for my own purification. So nice bhajan. Bhaja hure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Now this is actually mana shiksha, where we are giving shiksha to mana, that is mind. So it's very, very important to note that preaching happens not for others, preaching happens for one's own mind. At least I have seen this, whatever little bit preaching we have done, that every time when we give a class, from the heart, the Lord will tell, Paramatma will tell, Jhute, khud kar raha. And I'm sure all the Bhakti Riksha leaders will resonate with me what I said. Because it's a very, very important thing that we remind ourselves again and again. All our classes, if you properly analyze, we have few points only to speak in Krishna consciousness. That only we speak from different angles. Why? Just to remind ourselves and convince ourselves about Krishna consciousness. Many devotees who have spent decades in Krishna consciousness sometimes become slacken in Krishna consciousness. Why? Reminder is not there. Oh, now I'm done. Why to hear a class? Why to hear a Bhagavatam class? Why to associate with devotees? I'm done. Already I have everything. I can sit at home and chant the Mahamantra. Any altar installations happened, I'll do worship at home. Everything is there. Why go anywhere? But the fact is, like this, when we come in association of devotees, that makes a lot of difference. And when we remind ourselves in the line of the Vaishnava Acharyas, that makes a difference. That makes a difference. If the speaker speaks something concocted, then that's very difficult to make any difference. But if the speaker speaks in the line of the Acharya, what the Acharya is speaking, that will make a lot of difference. Here, a very nice saint in our parampara, Govind Das, he is actually singing this. Very, very beautiful bhajan, where he says, Bhaja hure mana Shri Nanda Nandana. Oh mana, oh mind, do bhajan. Do bhajan means meditate on whom? Shri Nanda Nandana. That is, who is Sri Nandana? Lord Sri Krishna. He could have directly said Krishna. Why is he saying Sri Nandanandan? There's another great Acharya in our line, I forgot the name. So he makes a statement. He says that I pay obeisance to Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard Lord Sri Krishna is playing. So he gives more importance to Nanda Maharaj than Krishna. And he is, it's very difficult to understand the mood of these devotees. So we will not enact that or imitate that. But it is a fact that how fortunate Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya are. They have received the Supreme Personality of Godhead in their own house. And the Lord is crawling in the entire house and making a lot of wonderful, doing a lot of wonderful pastimes. I remember this pastime from Gaur Leela, when Lord Sri Krishna appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the age of Kali, as Nimai, or he's also called as Vishwambhar, he's also called as Gaurahari, Gauranga, so many names. So when he appeared, so at that time a lot of pastimes he was doing in his childhood. And one of the pastime was walking around in the house. Now this was very nice to note that Nimai would not wear ankle belts. But whenever he would walk around, his parents, Jagannath Mishra, who is none other than Nanda Maharaj, and Shachi Mata, who is none other than Yashoda Maya, they would hear tinkling of the sound, tinkling of the ankle bells. And they would keep searching. Where is the sound coming from? Where is the sound coming from? And they couldn't find. But one thing that I understood is, okay, whenever this Nimai runs around, the sound is coming. But what to do? The love of these great personalities, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, is so great that it's very difficult for them to understand also their son is Supreme Personality. Same thing happened to Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. They couldn't understand, they couldn't accept the fact that someone or Nimai is the Supreme Personality of God. The voice quality is not good. My throat is not good, along with that, speaker is also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is better. So once what happened is, they heard all this sound, and next morning they saw a lot of footprints in the house. And those footprints were very special because they had a lot of marks, auspicious marks of Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata, they were so happy. They were so happy. And you know what they were telling? That our deity, Gopal, is actually going around in the entire house. But they couldn't ever make out that it was Nimai, their own son, was going around in the entire house. In the Damodar Lila pastime, when Krishna, or Damodar or Gopal, when he's sucking the breast milk of Mother Yashoda, there Shukadeva Goswami, he's saying that how fortunate Mother Yashoda is. That fortune which Lakshmi Devi didn't get, that for Lakshmi Devi's concert of the Lord, very, very close to the heart, that bliss or that opportunity which Brahma didn't get, Brahma is the son of the Lord, that opportunity which Lord Shiva didn't get, who is almost like a Sakha of the Lord, this Gopi, simple Gopi of Rajabhumi, that is Yashoda Maya, she is getting where she is feeding her own breast milk to Krishna. And is glorifying Mother Yashoda so much. So understanding all this, we can come to this conclusion that why Sri Nandana is used to glorify these great devotees, that how fortunate these devotees are who have the Supreme Personality of Godhead in their own house as their own son. And what happens when we meditate on the Lord? What happens when we worship the Lord? Next line says, Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So what happens? Lord grants fearlessness to that devotee. This is very important to note that everyone in this world is fearful. Even when it comes to devotees, practicing devotees, I mean. Even we are fearful of so many different things. Yes? One very important thing to note is when we worship the Lord very nicely, when we meditate on the Lord, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very nicely, it is said that Lord grants fearlessness to that devotee. And we see So many great personalities in ISKCON. All these great sannyasis, they are fearless, completely fearless about what has happened, what is going to happen next. Many a times when we speak about renunciation, I remember, I think this devotee was 70 years old. Mataji is all around same age. So I was just kidding with that, Prabhu. Saying, Prabhu, time to aa gaya aapka. No, you have to leave the house now. And suddenly Mata, Prabhu ji, क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? हम तो भक्त हैं ना, साथ में रह सकते हैं, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Any as devotees, we can stay together. What is the problem? So much of fear. Immediately I could see, alarm. Obviously, if 70-year-old people, a person, I'm not going to take in the ashram. Instead of he serving, we have to serve. But there's so much of fear always, that is there. Sometimes, devotees, sometimes people say, don't associate with the saffron people, bald-headed ones. You never know when they'll convert you and take you in the renounced order of life. And that is a fact. We keep looking for people. But the problem is we don't accept anyone and everyone. We accept only who are qualified. Anyways, the point is that padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. Every single step in this material world is actually filled with fear. But the one who accepts Krishna and worships Krishna from their heart and soul, such a person is fearless, ekdam fearless. In fact, they have this statement, dekha jayega jo hoga dekha jayega. Now see, there are two types of people who make this statement. One is a lot of fear in the heart, and externally they are saying, dekha jayega jo hoga dekha jayega. And internally, pata nahi kya hone wala. And the next category of people are internally very convinced that yes, Krishna will protect me. They're surrendered souls. And they say, we'll see what will happen. We'll see what will happen. Because they're fully convinced Krishna has the best plan for them. Fully convinced. How many of us sitting here are fully convinced whatever happens in life, Krishna has the best plan? Fully. Yes, we have few. Jai ho. Jai ho. अभी किसी का ले ऑफ नहीं हुआ है ना, इसलिए हाथ उठा. Yes. In fact, when critical situations come, you know what? I've seen fixed up devotees. They are completely shaken. And they come and ask us, Prabhuji, why Krishna is doing this with me? I'm doing everything now, whatever is told, but still why Krishna is doing this with me? Those devotees are fixed up who in the critical situation also are ready to pay obeisance again and again to the Lord, saying, oh Lord, this is your mercy, I accept. And I'm ready to follow whatever is your plan. Because your plans are the best. Because a devotee who's completely surrendered, he understands, what can Lord do to me? After all, I am his child. He has to take care of me. And with such faith, when the devotee practices bhakti, Lord takes the care of the devotee very nicely, like a small baby, like a small child. So this is a very, very important thing. Abhaya charanara vindare. And we have to meditate on this point. Move that. We have to meditate on this point that when will that day come when actually we'll become completely fearless in every single situation. Whenever I say this, my heart beats sometimes. What next Krishna is going to do with me? So all the preachers should note this point. Whatever statement we make, Krishna will first test us nicely. Really, this person is saying this from the heart or from the lips? And if you're telling that from the lips, Krishna will make us realize you're telling from the lips. And then I have to surrender to Krishna saying, oh Lord, I was telling from the lips only, not from the heart. Please forgive me. Give me strength so that I can speak from the heart. Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange. I don't know how many times I've spoken on this topic. Durlabha Manava Janma. This Manusha Janma is so rare, so very rare. I keep speaking about this topic so at least I realize, when I speak. And you know what? I'm sure all the devotees sitting here have spent some time in Krishna consciousness, 5 years, 10 years. You will surely agree with me that even if 100 times we hear Durlabha Manava Janma, but still we get into ignorance, isn't it? Aram se ekdam illusion mein. Durlabha Manava Janma. Kya bol rahe? So many human beings are there around. How is it Durlabha? Actually, it is very Durlabha if you properly analyze. We'll not get into the analysis from the Shastra. But it's actually very, very Durlabha because only in this form. Yesterday I was speaking in the class, Bhagavatam class. And only in this form we have the opportunity to disentangle ourselves from the entanglement, the material entanglement of this world. How can a person get disentangled in the Manushya Janma? Huh? Only? Only with devotees association. Yes, what else? You're telling this.
When he forgets himself, he gets entanglement.
When he forgets himself, he gets into entanglement. So if he is reminded, then he'll be in his knowledge. Huh? Surrender.
Engaging all our senses in service of
Okay, engaging all our senses in service of the Lord. Now we can disentangle ourselves. Yes, but all this will happen. All this will happen when we get satsang, when we get the association of devotees, as Mataji said. All this, whatever we are telling, will happen when we get association of devotees. Those devotees are very, very unfortunate who don't have a satsang to attend. Those devotees are very, very unfortunate, who are not able to come in the association of devotees and chant Hare Krishna and hear a class. Very unfortunate. Bhale kitne bhi, even if they are very, very rich, even if they have everything, a big altar in the house, have deities at home, and maybe the morning, evening they might be doing kirtan or whatever. They might be having only prasad also. But then they're very unfortunate because they're not getting opportunity to come in the association of devotees and chant Hare Krishna right from the bottom of the heart, calling out to Krishna with a lot of intensity. So satsang is very, very important. Association of devotees is very important. When we sit and hear the class, at times it has, at least I've noticed, many senior devotees also have, when we talk, we have discussed, that how we now know that, okay, next, now what shloka is this devotee going to chant? Because there's a concept, there's a flow, and then which are the different shlokas that Prabhupada would chant or some devotee giving the class would chant. Yes. But every class, they're so wonderful. When we sit and just hear in the association of devotees, every class there will be at least one point, at least one, which will strike and enter our heart and we'll feel, yes, this was a very, very important point. And then when you go and tell the devotee, Prabhuji, class was very nice. Prabhuji, what are you saying? Simple class only. Yes, it was simple, but then the point is that when we sit and hear in the association of devotees, realizations are profound. Therefore, here it is said, Durlabha Manava Janma. Firstly, Manushya Janma is very rare. In that, getting association of devotees is very rare. And in that, becoming serious in bhakti is even more rare. And if someone does that, Tara hoye bhava sindhure, the person can easily cross the bhava sagara, the ocean of birth and death. And it is so wonderful that in the age of Kali, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Lord Krishna as Gauranga has come with only one goal, to take everyone back home, back to Godhead. One devotee was sharing this point recently in the ashram we were discussing. So he was telling that how the shloka 7.3 Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvata. Now I was just looking at you. You'll get message from me. So in that shloka it is said that thousands of human beings, out of that thousands of human beings, sahasra manusha, and in that there are few who endeavor to practice bhakti. Out of that there are few who actually attain perfection, and out of that actually there are few who attain perfection, and out of that actually one goes back home, back to Godhead or attains Krishna. But in the jurisdiction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the golden age of the golden avatar, it is described that everyone has got chance to go back home, back to Godhead. Everyone. So it's very nice to see that Krishna comes to defy his own shloka that he has given, the own philosophy that he has given. But then that philosophy becomes even more valid in the age of Kali. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, to deliver each and every person, but still how many customers are there? I remember this pastime from Gaur Leela. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to Varanasi. And there he wants to distribute the holy name, he wants to give Krishna Prem to everyone. But there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I want to distribute these fruits which I have got, but what to do? There are no buyers. There is no one who is coming to take. And when he was discussing this, his associates were feeling very, very bad. And they made an arrangement wherein he could go and meet the Mayavadi sannyasis there. And then he distributed the fruits to all of them. And they ate it and they felt very sweet and they enjoyed. I mean, he converted all the Mayavadis into Vaishnavas, in that particular place. So actually, there's a fact. Even when we preach, we understand that we want to give, what we have received in the parampara, but then there are very less people to receive. Very less people to receive. So therefore, it's very important to note that in the age of Kali, opportunity is there that everyone can go back home back to Godhead. But how many of us are actually eager to go back home back to Godhead? That is the question. One devotee came recently and he was seriously asking, Prabhuji, this very life we can go back home? What do you all say? How many of you say yes? Hey, but mat lagaiye. I'm trying to motivate people. Yes. In this way, that's why Prabhupada says, again and again, I've heard in so many lectures where Prabhupada says that if you're eager, to talk to Krishna, to see Krishna, to attain Krishna, if you have that intense desire, if you have that intense greed, you will. In fact, he makes the statement that finish the Krishna consciousness business in this very life. He makes that point. And it is possible. It is possible. There's small asterisk. And that is our sincerity and our dedication towards our devotional service. Bas, itna hi, not much. And in so many purports, Prabhupada writes, simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and go back to Godhead. When I chant Hare Krishna and when I remember, simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and go back to Godhead. Actually, it becomes simply when with time, with our practice, when Cheto Darpana Marjanam happens, and when we become simple people, then actually it becomes simply. Till we are complicated, time lagega. But the fact is, if we continue in the association of devotees, as Govind Das Thakur is saying, in the association of devotees, if we continue practicing bhakti, Cheto Darpana Marjanam will happen. We will surely become simple. I'm just convincing myself. We will become simple and we'll be able to chant the holy names simply and go back home back to Godhead. And now here, he is punching all of us very nicely. He says, Shita Atapa Bata Barishana E Dina Jamini Jagire. He's saying that both in the day and at night I remain sleepless. Neend hoti hai sabki? 6 hours sleep everyone gets? 6 hours, 8 hours. And then next, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. So when the person, is struggling for livelihood, so person goes through all this. For what the person is doing this? Here it is said, Bifale sevinu kripana durjana chapala sukha labha lagire. Here it is said that for a fraction of flickering happiness, chapala sukha, what is happening? I have uselessly served the wicked and miserly men. Who are these wicked and miserly men? Huh? Meenu Mata, you smile. Who are they? In the office. Yes. Mata is saying boss in the office. Yeah, possible. Mata is saying possible. Boss in the office. So here actually I would like to make a point. That one thing is very clear, that Krishna is actually our boss. Krishna is our real boss. He is our actual maintainer. But the fact is that when we don't have that enough faith, then we accept a boss in this material world. One at home, one in the office. And the point is that somehow or the other, if we can regain that faith, we already have faith. It's not that we don't have faith. It's only covered as of now. Faith, Krishna Prem, humility, tolerance, all these divine qualities are already there, it's just covered. But with practice of devotional service, when it is uncovered, when the faith increases, at that time, when the devotee takes complete shelter of Krishna, he does not need any other boss. Madhvendra Puri, one of our acharya in the line, he's a sannyasi. He's supposed to go and beg door to door. Such a great personality. He used to just sit at one place and he would be just chanting the holy names of the Lord. And his mood is, if Krishna wants to maintain me, he'll get something for me. Koi tension nahi. And in fact, he is writing, one of the place that, oh Gayatri mantras, please forgive me, I'm not able to chant 3 times. What to do? I'm busy thinking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When I get immersed thinking about the Lord, I forget that I'm supposed to do my Sandhya Vandan. He says that. And literally, in the pastime of Madhvendra Puri, we see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gets a pot of milk for Madhvendra Puri, and Madhvendra Puri is around drinking. He says thank you and he drinks. And after that, he gets to Horik Bapre, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you know what he does after that? What he does after that? हैं? बोलिए ना, सुने हैं आप लोग? हाँ, he? नहीं, he continues. He had already drunk all the milk and he slept. And then he got the dream realization that yes, he is Lord himself. When he got up, he breaks the pot and he eats that also. So can you imagine these great personalities, how much faith these people have, no? Just sit at one place and then, no tension, just do bhajan. Anyways, we cannot enact all this. Don't try this at home. Disclaimer in all my classes, don't try this at home. Is your try karna hai, please try this at home. But this, don't try this at home, because we are not in that platform. We are not at that platform. Prabhupada would always say, don't imitate Haridas Thakur. He can chant 192 rounds, but we can chant maybe 1 plus 9 plus 2. Yes, it's very difficult for us to chant one difficult kya. We cannot think also, at least I cannot think 192 rounds. And there are people who tried that before and they were found out of devotional service, out of Vrindavan, out of Mayapur. In fact, one devotee, disciple of Prabhupada, who wanted to chant, he said, Prabhupada, I've come to Vrindavan just to chant the holy name, and you're telling me to do all these different things. And he didn't hear Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada would say, do devotional service. That is equivalent, to chanting, because as of now you're not qualified to chant all the time. He didn't listen. He was like, no, I'll chant. And then he went and then, in some seclusion he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not qualified to chant full day. What does Prabhupada say when we sit in the seclusion? What do we think of? Wine and women. That's what he started doing. And then later on, after some time, after some months, it is described that he was found in some petrol bunk in some foreign country putting petrol. Out of bhakti, out of Vrindavan, not listening to the spiritual master. So anyways, we're not qualified for that, but the point that we're trying to make here is that the real boss is Krishna. He's the real maintainer. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. Somehow if we can get this faith, a lot of tension in life will reduce. And with time, you have to realize that the ultimate goal is attaining Krishna, not settling in this world. There is no question of settling in this world. Don't try to do that. At least devotees shouldn't try to do that. Krishna takes special interest in the life of a devotee who tries to settle. And with a special interest, he unsettles the devotee very nicely. It's a special mercy of the Lord. So a devotee shouldn't try to settle in this world, but a devotee should try his best to settle in devotional service and go back home, back to God. E dhana yauvana pit putra parijana ite ki ache paratiti re. Now here, Govind Das is asking a very important question to all the people, all the materialists. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? And normally people take shelter of all this only, right? One's wealth. Second, youthfulness, sons and family members. So once what happened is one of a very rich person, he came to one of our ISKCON temple, and then he was saying to one of the monk there, one of the brahmachari, that Prabhuji, you have a well which has got sweet water, but I have got a big ocean which is full of salty water. What is the use of that? I've come here to drink the sweet water from your well. You understood what he said? Yeah. And after that, the brahmachari said, no problem. Give some drops of salt water. I'll give drops of sweet water. Yes. So, anyways, so when it comes to these materialistic people, they take shelter of wealth. They take shelter of their savings, their whatever. And when it comes to other things like youthfulness, they take shelter of their youthfulness. Sons and family members. But unfortunately, they don't realize finally they are the ones who ditch. Because material things are temporary. How much can they sustain a person? But then here it is said, another very important point, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala Bhajahu Haripada Ritire. Are all these things which are there in life, they are like Kamala Dala Jala. Kamala Dala Jala. So have you seen lotus flower? Or at least heard about it? Lotus leaf. When some water falls on it, what happens? Can someone determine how much time the water will remain? No. Yeah, for a moment, that's also subjective, right? So, for how much time it will remain, no one knows. Similarly, it is described, Govindas Thakur is saying, Are, bhai log, what are you doing? Your life is almost like the water drop on the leaf or the petal of the lotus. What guarantee you have that you're going to live long? Any time. It's very nice, the materialistic people, when you ask, what happened to that person? Chale gaya. अरे ऊपर कोई इधर ही है सब, इधर ही है सब. Sometimes, it's very nice to see the confidence of people outside. The person will be very sinful, drunkard, woman mongler, meat eater, everything, all sins committed throughout life. And when the person dies and you ask the family members, "Kahan gaye?" Swargvaas ho gaya. Really? Really? But anyways, even if they know, they cannot tell them Narakvaas ho gaya. They use Swargvaas ho gaya. Yeah, that's what poster they'll write all that. Yes. So here it is said, so what are we supposed to do as human beings? So here it says, Bhajahu Haripada Nitire. Hare Baba, serve Krishna. Worship the divine lotus feet of Krishna all the time. Again and again, we hear our Acharya saying, it's almost like our Acharyas are breaking their head on a stone. Are, do bhakti, do bhakti, do bhakti. And we are so expert now. We hear from one ear, and no, not everyone. Many sincere devotees sitting here, I'm sure. You take it to your heart all the time when this is spoken by the Acharyas. So here very nicely it is said, chant the holy names, take shelter of the Lord. Take shelter of the Lord. And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach all of us. See, when Krishna said, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, Kali Yuga beings is very difficult. In one of the class I was saying that we have to surrender. And someone told me, Prji, like you we cannot do. We cannot surrender like you. Where you have given up everything, we have family, this and that. Then I told 6 symptoms of surrender. I said that Anukulya Sankalpa, accepting things which are favorable, Pratikulasa Varjanam, things which are not favorable, we should reject. Rakshashititi Vishwaso, having this complete faith that Krishna will protect me always. Gopatratve Varnam Tatha, that is, Krishna is my only maintainer. Atma Nikshepa Karpanya, Atma Nikshepa, realizing the relation with Krishna, how great he is. Karpanya, very humble, understanding his own position. And when I said this, that person said, this much only? Oh, now I'm feeling so satisfied. For that time, externally I was smiling, internally I was blank. Really, so simple? So simple. No, initially it feels simple. With time, when the devotees grow in Krishna consciousness, they start realizing that it's not that simple. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes literally a lot of mercy of the Lord to teach us this, that how to surrender to Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Krishna himself comes down again to teach. Can you imagine that in a school, in a classroom, so there are some class of students who are there who will not understand at all when the teacher is teaching. Then the teacher personally goes to the bench to teach. They are the backbenchers. And they are the ones who relish and they are the ones who celebrate when they get one more mark than the passing mark. So teacher takes special interest in them, and the teacher will personally come and teach. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing to all of us. Krishna gave us the entire Bhagavad Gita, and then he understands nothing is going to happen with these people. I've given Bhagavad Gita, but how many are reading Bhagavad Gita? How many are reading, and the ones who are reading, how many of them are following? And here comes Krishna in the age of Kali, that is, in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he personally teaches how to surrender to himself. How to surrender to himself. And he does that by teaching us how to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Very nicely it is sung. Jadi gaurana hoito, tabe ki hoito, kemone dhari tamde. So it is said that if Gauranga wouldn't have been there, what would have happened to all of us? Because without the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, without chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, where is the question of purifying oneself? If Gauranga wouldn't have come, Prabhupada wouldn't have come. Because Prabhupada is Senapati Bhakta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If Lord is not coming, why Senapati Bhakta will come? If Prabhupada wouldn't have come, today on a Ekadashi, Friday evening, I don't know what you all are pious, but at least I know what I would be doing. When I was a meat eater a decade back, I don't know how many Ekadashis I've eaten meat. Even today, I regret for that. I don't know. I used to follow Sunday hoya Monday. Roast cow, that's what I was doing. I really don't know how many Ekadashis I still lament for that. I don't know if I have any place in Goloka Vrindavan, but still we hanker and we intensely pray and we have intense desire to go back home, back to Godhead. It's a fact. It's a fact. If Lord wouldn't have been come, if Lord Krishna wouldn't have come down again as Gauranga, Prabhupada wouldn't have come. And since Gauranga came, he gave the holy name, freely distributed. And Prabhupada took that and he freely distributed to all of us. To all of us. When we realize all this, our heart will be filled with gratitude. And only the heart which is filled with gratitude can chant Hare Krishna very nicely. And the ones who take it for granted will remain in this world for granted, always. The gratitude is very, very important. So, this Gaur Purnima festival is a very nice time to express gratitude to Gauranga, understanding that how wonderful that only for me, since I am the backbencher, since I am the patita, I am the most fallen. I was telling this in one class, and someone was saying, Prabhuji, how many times you keep saying fallen, fallen? I don't think so that I'm so fallen. And I was like taken aback. I don't worry, spend some time in the ISKCON and you realize. Actually, it is a fact. You go to outside people and speak about, that how fallen we are. They will say, you might be, I am not. They're fully convinced. They're fully convinced that I am something. But with time, when we read Bhagavatam nicely, then we'll realize kitna kachara bhara hai andar. So much of garbage, so much of garbage. One devotee was saying that Prabhuji, there's so much of garbage in my heart, I'm so sinful that even Krishna cannot deliver me. Now there's too much. Krishna can deliver everyone. Let's not get into that level. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that we are so fallen, if we realize this. Then Patita Pavan Avatar, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will come and deliver the Patita. If we don't realize we are Patita, then Patita Pavan will say that, okay, you're not Patita, but I am Patita Pavan. Let me search for one who is Patita. I'll go and deliver them. So this is a very nice thing to meditate on, that how fallen we are and how by the mercy of the Lord, grace marks we can say, that I have been passed to this realm of devotional service, and today I'm chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beats connected to a bona fide sampradaya where the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can you imagine the 4 sampradayas, and Lord chose to appear in this sampradaya? Why? Because Lord knew that all of you will be appearing in this sampradaya. Lord knew that a person like me will be there, to deliver us. He has come. He has come to deliver us. Last stanza. Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasyare Pujana Sakhijana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Abhilashare. It is said that the Abhilasha of every devotee is that I want to follow the Navavida Bhakti very nicely. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Yes. So these are the 9 angas of devotional service, and every devotee who is sincere in devotional service, they hanker to do it very nicely. And it is said when we do Shravan Kirtan very nicely, Smaran naturally happens. And when it comes to Pada Sevan, when it comes to Archan, Vandan, all that, we need altar at home. So when we have altar at home, Archan will happen, the worship will happen. Like Dayalu Govind Prabhu and his good wife, they have been worshipping. Today, officially all the devotees have come to witness the altar installation or install the altar for them. So they are going to take an oath, like Kunal Prabhu and Deepti Mate took an oath last Saturday. Saturday, tha na? It's almost like every day it has become difficult to remember. Kabhi kiski घर में क्या हुआ? So the oath that devotees take, when the altar installation happens, is every day I'll worship the Lord. Minimum 4 things I'll do: wake up the Lord in the morning. Second, do one aarti at least, one aarti, depending on your seniority, how much time you spend in Krishna consciousness. There's something called as dhoop aarti and something called as full aarti. So either of it. And then at least one bhoga I'll offer. This I've seen in the devotee circle, that when they are worshipping the Lord, even when the authority is saying no need to worship at home when festival is there in the temple, but still they'll tell, "Prabhu, like, bhooke rahenge na ghar pe. Let me go and cook and offer something." They do that. I can never forget this incident when I went to one of the devotees' home in Vrindavan before they were staying in a place in Mumbai. I went to that place and they were supposed to go to some ceremony, some marriage ceremony or some devotee. And obviously they were going to have feast there. So they cooked a feast at home also. And I was wondering, why did you cook a feast at home? And they were telling, see, we are going to have feast. What will my Radha Krishna eat? For them we have cooked feast. I was taken aback. Itna bhi, aise bhi hote hai devotees. So much of intense desire to serve. Intense desire to serve. Yes. Anyways, I'm not saying that imitate all this at home. I'm just saying that there are devotees like this. Yes. But to make it very simple, we have these 4 services: wake up, aarti, bhoga offering, and put the deities to rest. And when we have temple programs, so we try to finish our things early in the morning. Or if you're not able to, if you're out, then no problem. We put the deities to rest and we come. But since we have Gaur Nitai, we have the Lord come, in the Archa Vigraha form, they cannot be put to rest anytime. So once this question was asked to one of the spiritual masters in ISKCON, that can we put the deities to rest when we go out, when they are in the 3D form? When it comes to photos, they are merciful. There are science behind. I don't have time to explain all that. So can we put the deities to rest who are there in the 3D form? So the spiritual master was telling, one of the spiritual masters was telling, that when you want to go out for 3-4 days, you put your children also to rest and lock them. So we cannot put the deities to rest. So normally I've seen devotees, they give the deities to some other devotee and say, "Mere bachcho ka khayal rakhna." So that is something which people do with their kids also. So they tell the devotees that, "Please take care of my kids, I'm going out." And the devotees say, "No, I cannot, your kids are really horrible." Anyways, so this is the thing that every devotee, is expected when the altar installation happens. And when the altar installation happens, when such a nice altar is there at home, when lordships are there, such nicely decorated, so what happens? Automatically, the devotee is convinced about doing the service first. Second, Archanam is done, Pada Sevanam can be easily done, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Vandanam can be very nicely done. See, closing the eyes and offering prayer, I don't know how effective that is. But standing in front of the Lord and offering prayers from the heart or from Bhagavatam, anything, when we offer prayers, literally we'll be able to see that we are able to offer quality prayers. How many of you have realized the ones who have altar at home? Yes. Uthaiye to hath, sharma kyun rahe? Yes. But actually, when Lord is there, you can actually offer nice prayers. So it's a very nice thing, to note that when the altar is there, all these Navavidha Bhakti will actually easily happen. So I always recommend all the devotees that you should have a nice altar at home and you should worship the Lord very nicely. Finally, the important thing is we have to remember Krishna at the time of death. Tell me the one who is serving Krishna every day taking darshan of the Lord, every day doing various services. Tell me why the devotee will not remember Krishna at the time of death. Yes, they will remember. They will. So I was supposed to stop the class. This is an indication. Normally, garland is offered at the start of the class. Oh, I understood. You want me to continue another 1 hour? I'll do that. Offer the movie. I'll end the class. What was I saying? Yes, when we have the altar at home, when we worship nicely, this thing, is guaranteed if the person worships very nicely, sincerely, that the person will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. Because finally, what Krishna sees is sincerity. And the sincerity is tested when the altar is at home. Because you have to serve, in any case, both husband and wife, they're supposed to serve. And the sincerity of both are tested. At times, say the husband is not well. The wife has to do everything. And say, the wife is not well, especially, they have their monthly cycle. They cannot do anything at that time. The husband has to do. Now, at that time, sincerity is tested. Kar rahe ki nahi? Are they doing or not? So in this way, so much of sincerity is tested, and we see, I feel so proud, to say this, that in ISKCON we have so many wonderful devotees. Even in our circle, we have so many wonderful devotees. That every single day, they do their altar seva so nicely, so very wonderfully. And I always feel this, that, if a devotee is sincere, from Prabhupada's purport, Krishna will appear, in their memory, in their intelligence at the time of death. And they'll be able to remember Krishna and go back home back to God. So this altar seva is a preparation for the last exam that is there. There's only one question. What is the one question at the time of death? What do you remember? This is what is the question. It's an open-ended question. But answer is only one.
What will happen to my family?
No, answer is only one. What do you remember at the time of death? An expected answer is Krishna. If anyone says Krishna, go back home back to God. Anyone says something else, welcome back to the material world. That's what Maya Shakti will say. Yes. So in this way, our devotee should remain sincere when it comes to the altar seva, when it comes to chanting on beads, when it comes to honoring only prasad, when it comes to attending satsang, etc., etc., etc. Yes. So list is there with all of you all, and you all know it better. So anyways, I would like to pause here. If you have any questions, you can ask.
So when we have devotees association, when we have devotees association, we will stay in bhakti very easily. So when that way, if we see when we go back to Goloka Vrindavan, there anyway non-devotees will not be there. Anyway, everyone will get devotees association. Everyone will be towards love towards the Supreme Lord. So then, why qualification is necessary?
For?
Going back to God.
Very simple. If today, Lord comes from this door, Krishna, there's a bell, and then Dayalu Prabhu goes and Dayalu Prabhu opens the door, and he tells everyone, hey, look at this, Krishna has come! So I don't know how many of us will say Haribol. Firstly, we'll be skeptical, we'll go and check. Some people will do like this. Color to nahi hai. Yes, bluish, blackish color. And if it's Vishnu, it's four-handed form, first we'll check those two hands are real or not. And the modern youth of this age, they'll go and first click a selfie, later we'll talk. And say Krishna comes, and then Krishna is saying that chalo, Dayalu Prabhu bahut seva kar liya, chaliye, let's go back home back to Godhead. So that time Paramakanti Mataji, Prabhu, abhi nahi. Abhi nahi. And Dayalu Prabhu will say, I'm not ready. Oh, deadline hai, office mein zara khatam kar. No, they are very sincere, they'll be eager to go, no doubt. No, but the point that I'm trying to make is even when Tukaram Maharaj, when Lord came to take him. So at that time, Tukaram Maharaj, you all know Tukaram? A great saint from Maharashtra. Everyone in the village, they saw the airplane coming. Tukaram Maharaj boarded the airplane. Before he boarded the airplane, he told his wife Avali, let's go. Lord has come, let's go. And you know what Avali said? What the wife said? She said, you go. I have so much work at home. Who will do all this? Who will take care of these kids? You go. You tell me, pakka, you all can tell. Abhi to hi bolenge, like fir bhi pooch raha hu. Now Lord comes and Lord says, so let's go back home. एक बार तो thought आएगा ना, what will happen to kids, what will happen to wife, what will happen to husband. No, Mataji. At least there will be one thought, that might come. So as of now, that's what is our qualification. We're not qualified. Even for me also, if Lord comes and then he says, "Chalo, Kartikeya, let's go. Tirupati Yatra I'm organizing." Let me finish that. After that, Vrindavan Yatra is there. Let me finish that. Then we'll see. Because as of now, our consciousness is not completely cleansed. And even if we go back home, back to Godhead with these anarthas that we have, we will not be able to sustain them. So all the purification is done here itself. That's why it is said that just being in the association of devotees will get purified. All the devotees are like unpolished gems, unpolished diamonds. Unpolished diamonds are polished how, they're put all together and that is turned very nicely. The entire system is turned very nicely with a great speed. What happens at that time? The diamonds, they will collide with each other. Yes? And when they collide with each other many, many times, they get polished very nicely. That's why in the devotee association, we should keep colliding with each other. Not purposely. Anyways, it happens very naturally. Yes. And that, I don't know, wherever it collides, I'm able to hear. And I'm supposed to go and then separate the two diamonds which are stuck to each other. So, anyways, the new devotees are thinking, what is he talking about? Anyways, so the point is, when the consciousness, when we are completely purified, at that time, when we are hankering to go back home, back to Godhead. So at that time, we are qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. As of now, we are not hankering. Any devotee who hankers to go back home, back to Godhead, that devotee will go back to Godhead for sure. Any devotee who hankers to chant Shuddhanam will go back home, back to Godhead for sure. Before that, he'll chant Shuddhanam for sure. Many of the times we say, when will the day come and I'll chant Shuddhanam? But this is my analysis, and somehow it is proved true also for everyone. See, when we want something material, we always keep meditating on that. Say your child's exam is there, or child has gone to school, or you have some meeting in the office. All the time, full meditation. Subah se leke shaam tak meditation rahega. Next day you're supposed to give a presentation or whatever. But when it comes to chanting, we don't think about chanting like that. Right? We don't think. Even when we are attending nature school, I'm sure when meeting is there, we'll keep thinking about it. नहीं सच बोल रहा हूँ, झूठ क्या है उसमें? But I don't think, that even when we have free time, we keep thinking, don't know when will I chant Shuddhanam, don't know when will I chant Shuddhanam. No, we don't do that. Only when we hold the beads and we remember, 16 mala, pura sakshi mala upar hai, abhi niche karna hai. I'm supposed to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra now. And maybe at that time we might offer prayer once or twice, or maybe 16 times before every round, that, oh Lord, please help me to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly. But that is not intense desire for sure. Intense desire means all the time you'll remember that and you'll keep praying. Even when we are cooking, that prayer will be there. Oh Lord, when will that day come and I'll chant your holy names, offenselessly. When we are taking bath, intense desire will be there, to do this. Even when we are attending nature's call, we'll be having this intense desire and we'll keep praying intensely. That shows our intense desire. And if we analyze all this, we don't have intense desire. If we don't have intense desire, then how will we go back home, back to Godhead? If we don't have intense desire to go back home, it means that we have intense desire for something else. Agree? Because एक intense desire होता है. If you don't have one intense desire that is going back home, some other intense desire is there. So if some other intense desire is there, Krishna says tathastu yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. And we are left in this material world. That's the reason. So Krishna, Prabhupada writes another purport. One name, many purports. That Krishna is more eager to take us go back home, back to Godhead than we desire. But the thing is, we have to desire intensely. He's just waiting for that. If we desire intensely, he'll take us back home, back to Godhead.
Even if one devotee goes, that devotee's desire will be fulfilled. What the devotee will be asking, all the devotees association, everyone should come back to you. So like that everyone will.
Not sure. You never know if you have collided with that devotee. To purify that devotee. You never know. You never know. No, actually, if today we are practicing bhakti and like this, can you imagine after office hours people coming to hear a bald person who has nothing to do in life? Yes. Coming and sitting and hearing a class. on the day of Ekadashi when we are fasting? No, it's not easy. So how come we are able to do that? Because some devotee who is connected to us, who has attained Krishna, I know that's Prabhupada for all of us, has prayed for us, is praying for us. That's the reason even today we are able to continue our chanting. That's the reason why we are sitting together and trying to relish Krishna Katha. Yes. And we are so happy and so blissful and celebrating the occasion of someone else's altar getting installed. Yes. That's what is the thing. That is what is the thing. So we are already on the path. Those devotees are praying for it. We are already on the path. But our expectation is he prays and then all the anarthas in 1 second burst and everything comes out immediately. And then Krishna comes and pulls us back home. Cholo, let's go. It's not going to happen like that for sure. Because the prayers of devotees with time will become intense in bhakti. That is what is the expectation. That is what is the blessing. Yes. ठीक है, offering is good. So let's do the first आरती. हाँ, बोलिए bro.
आपके ने अपने लेक्चरर्स में से हिंदी लैंग्वेज को ऐसे लगता है जैसे देश से बाहर निकाल दिया है।
नहीं तो
आपके लेक्चर
लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आता हिंदी साउथ
बोलते
में।
नहीं आपके लेक्चर में।
हिंदी बोलते ही नहीं है साउथ में।
हिंदी कौन कितने के साथ जहाँ कितने हैं जो नहीं समझ सकते।
नहीं, मैं हाथ नहीं उठाने बोलूँगा। बेचारों का इंसल्ट हो जाएगा।
मैं न जाने कौन है, क्योंकि मैंने सभी से मतलब के बड़े प्यार से बात करते हैं। मैं भी सबसे
एक बार ना मैंने एक मुहावरा बोला था, धोबी का कुत्ता ना घर का ना घाट का। अभी तो एकदम ऐसा माहौल था कि लोग हंसने चाहिए, सबके सब ऐसे देख रहे थे। फिर मैंने उसको इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट किया, फिर उसके बाद बोला कि ये जोक था, फिर हंसे लोग। वैसा वाला कराउड है।
सिंपल है ना, कुछ मुहावरे तो ऐसे होते हैं जो हिंदी पढ़ते हैं या हिंदी जानते हैं अच्छी तरह से, उनको भी वो समझ नहीं आते। कुछ ऐसे डिफिकल्ट मुहावरे होते हैं, लेकिन हिंदी तो जानते सभी जानते हैं। आप
जब मुझे अपने घर पे बुलाएंगे मैं अपने हिंदी में क्लास, ठीक है?
तो डेली सत्संग फिर सभी सत्संग आपको मेरे घर में ही करने पड़ेगा। आप बना लीजिए, अपना मूड है आपका।
एक्चुअली प्रभु ऐसा है ना कि मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द क्राउड अगर हिंदी समझेगा भी, अगर उसमें कोई अगर सिंसियर भक्त है जिनको हिंदी समझ नहीं आता, तो ऐसे लैंग्वेज यूज करना चाहिए जो सभी लोग समझे। अगर किसी को समझ नहीं आता है तो हम ट्रांसलेटर्स रखते हैं उनके लिए। जैसे अभी नॉर्थ इंडिया जाएंगे तो केवल हिंदी में कथा होती है, तो वहाँ जो भी इस्कॉन टेम्पल से आप जाएंगे केवल हिंदी में कथा होती है। और फिर भी आप फिर भी फॉर्चुनेट है कि इंग्लिश में कथा हो रही है बैंगलोर में। मेरा एक स्टूडेंट चेन्नई में गया था, उधर से केवल तमिल में कथा होती है, जो भी कथा उसने अटेंड किया था। तो बोला था, और वो नॉर्थ इंडिया का है। मतलब तो मुझे पता नहीं, अंडू गुंडू कुछ बोल रहे हैं, समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे क्या बोल रहे हैं। अच्छा है कि हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र इज नॉट बायस्ड। सो यू हैव टू सी टाइम प्लेस सर्कमस्टेंस एंड यूज द लैंग्वेज। तो ऐसे बहुत सारी जगह जाकर केवल मैं कन्नड़ा में बोलता हूँ और केवल हिंदी में बोलता हूँ। तो देखेंगे जहाँ केवल अगर सारे हिंदी वाले भक्त रहेंगे तो हिंदी में बोलेंगे। मुझे तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है हिंदी में बोलना।
तो मेरा तो रिक्वेस्ट करने का आता है आगे आपकी इच्छा।
यस, कहा ना मैंने, आप लोग ऑर्गेनाइज कीजिए और केवल हिंदी भक्त को बुलाना होना, तो मैं बहुत खुश होंगे हिंदी में क्लास में। क्योंकि अगर एक भी भक्त बैठा वो सिंसियर है, अगर मेरा क्लास समझ नहीं आ रहा तो मुझे बहुत दुख लगता है। तो इसलिए मैं ऐसा लैंग्वेज यूज करता हूँ जो सबको समझे। ठीक है ना? एनी क्वेश्चंस? हाँ, it talks about the subtle body. Heart is not this heart that we're talking about. It talks about subtle body. So contamination is there in the subtle body. So that gets cleansed. So when the word heart is used, it refers to Antakaranam. Antakarana is basically the entire subtle body. See, mind is here. That is not the right understanding. Yes. The mind is full all over the body. See, if you understand the consciousness, how it spreads throughout the whole body. Similarly, subtle body spreads throughout the whole body, throughout the whole gross body. It's like that. So, and also the Bhanu Swami Maharaj is saying there are many layers of subtle body used. That's why in various BBT pictures we see that there are layers made in the body. Layers made. So cleansing is always of the subtle body. That's the. Means the heart basically refers to subtle body. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Heart refers to subtle body. Manaha and Chetana. Chetana. This needs a technical session from third canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kapila Muni is describing on this. We'll have a seminar on that. Okay, we'll do that. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
अरे आरती प्लेट कहाँ है? It's there inside, हाँ? अरे हम लोग
Kartikeya, Shibuj hai. Which song?
क्यों ना? हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण You can sing Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu and
आप ही गाओ. आप ही गाओ.
Shri Shri Give me one flower.
नहीं श्री कृष्ण जब मैं पंच होगा हाँ नहीं श्री कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे बिना तेरा डालो जगता संसारे
Wait a second.